So, hello, I'm Skyler Tiffin, and I'm a rising sophomore. At the beginning of this year, my freshman year, I was told I have 2 million minutes to spend in high school. So, how do we spend this time? Well, I like to read, I also like to paint, and I like to play with my dog Racket. But a lot of my time is spent in school. So think back to when you were first entering high school. What did you expect? What were the next 4 years of your life going to be like? Well, when I entered high school on that first day, I envisioned school being about homework, grades, and schedules. Because in middle school, that's what consumed a lot of my time. And especially when Power School was introduced to me, when our grades were shown all the time, people would constantly be asking each other what our grades were. And I started to see myself as really just a number. And I started doing things just for a number. I was doing good projects, good work, but my only motivation behind doing good on those projects was to get an A, to get that good grade. The first time I failed a quiz in 7th grade, I cried about it. And I realized I shouldn't have been crying about it in general, but I realized I was crying about it because of just a number. I wasn't crying about the lack of content, but it was really just the number. So is this the best way? School being about this number? Going through high school, getting a number, then going to college, getting another number, but then when you go out into that real world, get a job, not have a grade? When we do school this way, when we learn school, we're doing a bunch of stimulated procedures and rubrics, but we're not really being in these different experiences and experiencing the different things of the world. And so why does school have to be like that? Why can't we solve the real world problems? Why do we have these bells? Because we don't have bells at our jobs. Why do we have these grades? Because we're not graded in our job. Well, there's actually something already like that for me. iDiploma provides that chance for me to solve real user problems or problems that affect real people every day. These two projects up here, the one on the left is a wheelchair ramp. It's for someone in a wheelchair to be able to take off this ramp and be able to get over a 6-inch curb by themselves. The next one is an eye writer. It's for someone who's paralyzed from the neck down to be able to write and draw using the movement of their eye. So I want to talk a little bit more about the wheelchair ramp. At this time, in math, we were actually solving a problem like this. We had to figure out how far you had to get back and make a ramp to get over this curb on a skateboard. And what was different about what we were doing in iDiploma is that we were actually able to solve this problem. And in the end, it actually didn't work. We failed. You couldn't get the wheelchair up the ramp. But in the end, we weren't given a grade or a number. Instead, we were given feedback, which for me is way more effective than any grade they could have given me. This is a picture from 3-Day Startup. It's a 3-day program where we learned how to start a business. And this pitch had a logo, it had who our customers were going to be, it had the estimated price of our product, and it had how our product was going to work. And in the beginning, it actually started off like this. Just a bunch of ideas thrown up on a whiteboard, brainstormed in a half an hour. But along the way, we had multiple sessions of feedback from our peers, facilitators, and other entrepreneurs. There was one person in particular who, when we were presenting our product, which was a subscription box of consignment clothing. And at that point, our customers were aimed towards men, women, and children. And he said, well, yes, I like consignment clothing, and yes, I buy subscription boxes, but really, I'm rare. There's not many people like me. And if you look at your competitors, which were Stitch Fix and Gwinny Bee, they were all aimed towards women. And that completely changed our product. That final pitch we gave, our customers were women. Now, if that guy had just given us a score of 87, we wouldn't have been able to change our product completely. And instead, we're given something like this. We're given sticky notes and sticky notes of feedback of what they liked, but more importantly, what they didn't like. And for me, taking away that whole grade factor made me see that school and the real world don't have to be divided by a line. And that's my move. That we're not defined by a number, and instead we're defined by the problems we're given a chance to solve and the impact that solution makes. So why can't we do this now? Why can't school be like this right now, tomorrow? Well, Well, I really think it's a mindset that we have to change. Right now, at 3 o'clock, school stops. We go to our practices, we go home, we do our homework, and then we go to school the next day. But we're really not doing anything new. But what if it didn't have to be like that? When we were building that wheelchair ramp, we were working till 4:30 on a Friday. And honestly, we forgot that the bell was there. And we wanted to learn more about the wood tools, and we wanted to learn the slope of the ramp because the learning that we were doing had a purpose. We had a purpose behind learning all of that. This is some math that we did at 3 Day Startup. We were using percents, statistics, fractions, ratios, a whole bunch of different things. And it made me wonder if that was the purpose behind learning all of that math. That it wasn't just a chapter that we had, that instead, that in order to solve that problem, we had to know how to do that. So in the end, what's the effect on the student learning school this way, being in those experiences? Well, I used to think of school as being grades, schedules, and homework. But now I see that I can be motivated beyond just the grade. And I can be motivated by the impact I want to have on other people. So what's the effect on the student? Well, I truly believe that these students will become globally competitive, engaged citizen leaders that are ready for the real world, because the real world for them hadn't been separated by a line. No, these students have grown up in the real world, solving its problems and making an impact, all before they ever graduated with their high school diploma. Thank you.